Hey, what's up, ballers? It's Jacob here with All Drive No Drop, and we're talking about the bread and butter Shogun today. Very nice case. Boom. I've been playing this every day since I've got it. Look at that. Look at that. You can't, I mean, you can see the ball marks, but like this thing is not eating the ball up, and it's staying looking nice. I don't think I've had a paddle where people have been stopping me more than with the Shogun just because they know about it or they want to know what it is. In case you don't know, this is the first paddle with a titanium and carbon fiber weave, so it's looking pretty unique. Great design. And then Bread and Butter is nice enough to be doing a giveaway with me. If you want to win a Shogun, stick around to the end to find out how you can enter. I got to show you the packaging. I don't normally show the packaging, so it comes in this box, and then looks like that. It comes with a koozie. I think they always send their paddles with a koozie. Nice thank you card. Comes with some stickers. And if you're one of the first 1,000, which I think by the time this video comes up, you'll still have time to get in on this if you want it. You get a bottle of the Oshi sauce, which I'm gonna try right now. Why not? Let's try it out. Type of hot sauce here. So to me, it tastes like you know, like an Asian chili hot sauce. Pretty good. Not as hot as you know, I think they are going for. It's not super spicy, and I can handle pretty good spice tolerance, but pretty good. Packaging out of the way. Let's talk about the price. So real quick, it is $190. You can bring that down to $162 with code ALLDRIVENODROP. And so I just want to do a quick comparison for the price. So you get all this, you get the sauce, the koozie, the paddle cover, comes in a nice box. That for $162, and I don't know exactly what a new Gen 3 Yola costs with the discount, because I know they weren't doing discounts, but this is what you get. Comes in a thing you'd find at Walmart for $280. I mean, come on. Bread and Butter is killing it with the packaging. But it doesn't matter about any of that if the paddle can't perform on the court. We are going to jump into the specs, and then we are going to jump into my gameplay thoughts, and I'll tell you what I think. Let's jump into those specs. The Bread and Butter Shogun is a thermoform unibody paddle with perimeter edge foam, and it's elongated. The facing is the T700 carbon fiber and the titanium weave, first of its kind. The dimensions are 16.5 inches by 7.375 inches, so a little narrower than usual. 16 millimeter core, mine weighted at 8.1, handle length of 5.5 inches, grip circumference of 4.25, a swing weight of 121, and a twist weight of 6.12. And it played way better than the twist weight, which I'll get into in the gameplay thoughts. But I'm honestly surprised the twist weight was so low. It played so well for its sweet spot and not twisting in my hands. Also, I should mention they do have a 30-day love it or leave it policy, so they have a great return policy. My gameplay thoughts. This paddle is at that 121 swing weight. You know, it's gonna feel a little slower in your hands if you've been playing with the hybrids, you've been playing with the wide bodies. But honestly, for me, feeling good for an elongated paddle. It's, you know, I would say what's an average elongated paddle, maybe 118, 119. So it's really not too big of a difference for an elongated paddle. But let's just start out with how it feels. It is softer than like a carbon fiber, softer than, say, if you were playing with the Bread and Butter filth. Not as soft as a Kevlar, and it does have this like springiness, bounciness to it, which is really consistent. So basically, if I'm holding the paddle still and I'm going for a reset and block, it just feels like the ball kind of like springs off the paddle a little bit. And when I say that, you know, like how you have it bouncing off the paddle, it just, for like, you know, like a pop for like a carbon fiber, it just feels a little different. Kind of just feels like it comes in and pops out. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how it feels. So for the drives and serves, this thing rips the ball and it has great spin. So that combination felt really good. And you would think with this lower twist weight, oh, that's going to be an issue. No, it's not an issue on the resets and blocks. I was having great resets and blocks. Once you dial in that like springiness coming off the paddle, it feels really good. And I mean, I think some people might not be able to get adjusted to it, but personally, once I had about 2 games in, I started getting pretty used to it. So back to those serves and the drives and the power shots. No problem putting the ball away with overheads. And the sweet spot on this paddle is really good. And so that, for me, that's really important because I want that power level to be consistent when I'm making contact with the ball for the drives and the serves, because I really rely on placing my shots. I do generate a lot of power, especially on my overheads, but on my serves and my drives, I rely more on placement and spin to get the job done. Now, dinking, so with that springiness that I was talking about, on like the dinking, and it can mess you up sometimes when you're taking the ball out of the air, because you might like put a little bit more force into the ball when you should just be, you know, kind of tapping it or just letting the paddle do the work for you. So that just takes some adjustment. Besides that, no problem maneuvering this with the dinks. Felt really solid. Like I said, that sweet spot is really good, so no issue with the dinks. And then I would say like forehand, backhand rolls, just a breeze with this paddle. Felt really good with the combination of the spin, the sweet spot, and once you get this thing moving, it really can whip through the ball. And then getting into hands battles, it is a little slower in the hands, but the great thing is this thing, like once you can take a cut at the ball with the plow through it has and the power, you can put the ball away and it still has decent pop even for an elongated paddle because of that springy bounciness with the titanium weave, which really helps you generate a little bit of pop that can get the job done and start with those firefights. And besides that, I think the last thing I didn't really mention was the drops, which felt really smooth. I think, you know, with that springiness, it could be a problem for some people. You just have to adjust your trajectory a little bit, and once you get accustomed to it, I felt like I barely had to do any work with the drops. You know, like you just have to adjust a little bit. There is an adjustment period on this paddle, I would say. Like the very first two games I played with it, I thought I wasn't gonna like it, but then I started liking it more and more and more. Let me get into a comparison real quick of this paddle compared to two of the elongated paddles that I played with recently, just on the power and pop spectrum, just to give you an idea of where this paddle ranks, and then we'll wrap up with my conclusion. Thank you. So, quick comparison for elongated paddles that I've reviewed recently and where the Shogun ranks for those. And take these numbers with a grain of salt, because different people are going to get different numbers. And the testing, obviously, is going to be different on different days. Some days you're going to be serving really well. Some days you're going to be punching very well. I take the average of 10 serves to get my power numbers, measure with the radar gun, and I do the same thing with my pop numbers with the radar gun, except I punch the ball. So the Shogun, pretty powerful paddle, ranks right up there with some of the more powerful paddles in the J7Ks and the Control Plus. You're not going to have trouble putting the ball away. It gets decent pop. It ranks up there with the Hirache X Control Plus. Pretty much, I mean, tied in my testing. And then for spin, it does really well. 2180, that's, you know, it's not competing with the Volair Mach Forzas or the Apollo, but it's really close. I mean, most people not even going to tell the difference. It has great spin. So, my final thoughts. My recommendation for who this paddle is for. You know, if you are looking for an elongated paddle that is on the all-court side of things, but leaning towards power and gives you great control with a slightly different feel. So to convey how this bounciness, springiness feel, it's very consistent, which is the good thing. So once you get used to it, it's not really an issue. For me, I actually quite enjoyed it once I got used to it, especially on the resets and blocks. It's like the paddle does consistent work for you on those resets. You have a consistent bounce off the paddle face, which I really enjoyed. The power is in the top tier of Gen 2 thermoform paddles. You're not going to have a problem putting the ball away. The grip is a little bit on the thicker side, so if you are sensitive to a little bit of a thicker grip, just keep that in mind. I mean, obviously the aesthetics, this paddle just looks amazing, and it's great. Like the ball fuzz, if it does get on there, comes right off. You don't need to be using your microfiber cloths, your paddle erasers, because it just stays looking clean. Love that. The pop is pretty decent for an elongated paddle, so I wasn't having any issues there. It just performs very well all around. You know, with that lower twist weight, you would think that you're gonna have issues, but no. I'm blocking fast drives, I'm blocking resets, I'm playing 4-5-5-0 players. If you're playing that high, I don't think you're gonna have a problem using this paddle. I was my game was, it was excelling with the blocks and the resets on this. So if you're looking for an elongated paddle that performs really well all court and leans a little bit on the power side, has a little bit good pop, has good control, great spin, for a really cool brand, then yeah, I'm going to recommend the Shogun. I'm not saying it's anything game breaking. It's not. I mean, it is game breaking with that titanium weave though, looking good, and that softer, bouncier feel. So if you call that game breaking, which some people might, then yes. But anyway, it gets my recommendation as a paddle for you to consider if you like those things that I've said about it. And now, if you want to enter the giveaway, follow the instructions on the screen. Please leave me any comments, even if you don't want to enter. Let me know what you think about Bread and Butter Shogun, or anything else that's on your mind, pickleball related. Let's keep it pickleball related, all right? That's all I got to say about this. Thank you very much. Go play some pickleball.